And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Morbid Hour, episode 13, here on the Horror and Metal channel. I'm Hellhound.
Or Fan 88.
Sean Erschen.
We're going to be discussing Re-Animator, Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, and Queensrÿche.
Hell yeah.
And Horror Fan's got his fancy new camera that has an amazing picture.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, mine looks all grainy and looks so primitive in comparison. Recording with a potato, like I said.
Maybe we need to go on your channel next time. No.
Oh, happy to be here. I'm ready
Absolutely.
Likewise. You guys want to start with Re-Animator, or how do you want
Hell
to do it?
yeah.
Yeah. I really need to get that Arrow video Blu-ray. I've been
Yeah.
needing it for so long.
I have that one too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the Vestron video VHS still.
Wow.
But, yeah. But yeah, I need to get that Arrow video thing. I've been wanting it so long.
You probably have this one too, right?
Yeah, but I opened mine.
I can open it because I want them to sign it, you know.
Oh yeah, true.
When I meet them.
Right. Yeah, that's exciting. Sean's gonna meet Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton.
I can't wait.
I'm
I
envious.
like that. Is that
The
like one of those
Terror.
cartoon ones?
Yeah. The Toonie Terrors or something.
2D
Nice.
Terrors. Yeah, I've got like 5 of those. I got Jason, Freddy, Michael, Leatherface, and Ash.
Hell yeah.
I was gonna get some more, but I never get around to it. They're cool though. And NECA makes them too, I believe.
Nice. They should make a Meg too, and they should make Carl Hill too, Dr. Carl Hill. with
Yeah,
the head cut off and all
I
that.
think that I think that 2D Terror comes with the head and the dishpan.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I've seen it in the store.
I'll get it.
This has it too, but
Like,
yeah,
it's
it
head
does.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's in the closet.
this
Yeah.
doesn't look anything like Carl Hill, but like that Jeffrey.
Phenomenal movie, one of my favorite horror movies. Period. Like,
Oh yeah, mine too. Always has
can't
been.
say enough about it.
Love it. It's gory. It's graphic. It's really funny.
Yeah.
A great sense of humor. Really, really over the top and zany.
Hmm.
Just a lot of fun. This movie's an absolute blast, and it makes up what I consider the holy trinity of really fun 1985 horror comedies, along with Return of the Living Dead and Fright Night.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Those 3 make a really good triple feature.
Yeah. Horror comedy stuff, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's even a little bit of sci-fi if you think about it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the mad scientist with the
Yeah,
coming up with the serum to reanimate the dead, and there's a lot of scenes in the hospital, and
yeah. It's got a lot
brain
of
surgery and stuff.
yeah. It's got a lot of Frankenstein elements, and
Oh yeah.
it's very different from the H.P. Lovecraft story. It takes a lot of liberties. It's not all
Yeah.
that faithful, but which is fine because admittedly, I actually enjoy the movie even better, to be quite honest. But it's kind of like 2 different things. I like them both in different ways.
Yeah.
It's been years since I read I've got the whole H.P. Lovecraft collection, but I haven't reread it since I got that.
All of them deviate quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. James Moss in the chat.
How's it
What's up,
going?
James?
How's it going, James?
So I adore this film. It's in my top 5 horror because, the old 80s horror comedies, that's kind of my jam. Like, I love atmospheric, creepy horror. But, I've watched this so much that I kind of get annoyed at myself that I have to say every line with everyone. Like, the moment Jeffrey Combs comes in, I gotta, say every line. Be like, I know your work, Dr. Hill, quite well. Your theory on the location of the will in the brain is interesting. And I just keep going. Like,
Though derivative of Dr. Gruber.
I gave him life.
Was
Who's
it
gonna believe
saying some
the talking
states
head?
considered plagiarized?
Yeah. So many great lines. Yeah, Jeffrey Combs just owns this movie. He is Herbert West and always will be. He just commands this movie. And yeah, Bruce Abbott is Dan Kane is great too. And of course, Barbara Crampton is his girlfriend, Meg Halsey, the dean's daughter.
Yeah.
And David Gale as Carl Hill's a great villain. And he looks a lot like John Kerry.
Yeah, that's true.
When David Gale, I've heard somewhere someone say this, but it was right. He would have fit so well in the old Hammer horror day. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
I know, right? He would.
Yeah, he'd have been great for that.
I love how he seduces, he's got like power of seduction or something, like when he
like
tries to
hypnotic
seduce
powers.
Megan Halsey, you know.
Yeah,
and her, but he's like, you will do what I tell you to do. Like,
he hypnotizes him with his eyes. It's weird because it just kind of comes out of nowhere, and they never really explain it. It's just like, oh, he can just do that.
I know.
And he can control the other the other zombies. He can he can command them. They obey his will.
Yep. And Barbara Crampton has always been one of my celebrity crushes, and she still looks gorgeous to this day.
I know.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite scream queens. She's been in so many great horror films.
Absolutely. And what she puts herself through in this movie is crazy.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I respect her for the level of commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. When it comes to Jeffrey Combs, Jeffrey Combs could star in a movie of him just for an hour and a half, just naming different types of birds, and I would watch it because it's Jeffrey Combs.
I agree. He's just like Bruce Campbell. He just makes everything better, and I just love him in everything. Like, even if the movie sucks, he's good in it. Like, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Not all that good, but I like him in it. He's probably the best part. He's so funny in that too.
True.
Like, duh, just so deadpan. And he always gives it his all too. He never feels like he's too good for for even the worst movies.
Yeah.
Like, he always puts everything into it, which is very admirable.
This is my favorite horror performance by an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me. Definitely up there.
Like, I love every minute of it. He's amazing.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah, it's great. He just becomes the character, the eccentric and just obsessed mad scientist who just will do nothing to accomplish his work.
Yeah.
And he's kind of an anti-hero too, because he does villainous things all the time. He kills people, and he's kind of like Dr. Frankenstein, Peter Cushing's Dr.
Like
Frankenstein.
I was just gonna say he's like the Peter Cushing Frankenstein.
I wouldn't be surprised if they took some inspiration from that, in addition to, of course, adapting the H.P. Lovecraft story.
And the dynamic between Herbert and Dan reminds me of that too, from Curse of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
There, Paul, the
Victor and
guy.
Paul. Yeah, it's very similar, actually. Yeah.
Because he always kind of draws him in, even when he's like, "No, you're crazy."
Yeah.
Right.
But if you do, but what about Meg, or what? Like, keep drawing him back in.
It's crazy that continues to work with this guy despite all the wicked things he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They kind of blackmails him at first a little bit, and then he just kind of ends up going right along with it.
I know when he threatens him to blow the whistle that you're dating the dean's daughter.
Yeah, it's like, just like it's none of my business that you're dating the dean's daughter.
Yeah.
They kind of said a little bit in this movie that Dan doesn't like to lose a patient. Like, he kind of takes it hard on himself throughout these two. So of course, when the sign of, oh, you can save anyone, everyone can live forever, then of course he's gonna have a little bit of that. I want to save people. I want to help.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of it.
We can help everybody.
Right.
Bring them back to life. can conquer brain death.
Yes.
Doesn't matter that they're basically just zombies with no like emotion, except for Carl Hill for some reason. He has all his mental
Yeah,
functions intact. You know.
Yeah, and his head's disconnected from his body, and yet he's more like able than all the other zombies. It's like, how does that work? He's able to talk despite not his vocal cords being severed, and none of the other zombies are coherent at all. It's like, how does that work?
I don't know.
Was he more freshly dead when he was reanimated? Who knows?
He's smart because he was a doctor,
Decapitated.
so he's smarter. So
Yeah, so he's smarter than the rest of the zombies. Plus, he had those psychic powers too. Maybe that's part of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, James. Jeffrey Combs kicks all kinds of ass in everything he's in, but especially Re-Animator, which is my favorite role of his by far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I watched the extended version of the original movie that's like an hour and 45 minutes. There's some weird stuff in it. Like you find out that Herbert West is shooting up the reagent to stay awake. And
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was a little out there. I was like, kind of glad some of these scenes were cut. And like the scene where Meg is like having that weird. It says it's called like it's supposed to be a nightmare or something. She's like laying on the slab or whatever, and she's like laughing hysterically. It's like, what is going on? I think the only other horror movie I've seen David Gale in is The Brain.
Yep.
I think came out the same year as Bride of Re-Animator.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've got it on VHS, but I haven't watched it in so long. I don't know if it's that good or not. But
I got it on Scream Factory Blu-ray, and it was like a blind buy, but I only bought it. I saw him on the back, and I was like, "Oh shit, David Gale!"
Yeah,
It was a fun creature movie from the '80s. It felt like one of those 1950s creature movies.
It does. It's a really weird-looking monster too. Very, very interesting design. And he was David Gale. I think it was also in an episode of Tales from the Dark Side. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara Crampton is indeed excellent as Megan Halsey.
Yes, sir.
I second that.
Yep. And John Carl Buechler's and company's practical effects are fantastic in this movie.
Yes, phenomenal.
Bloody effects. They just look great.
I really like the shot where like a lot of times when it shows Carl Hill like from far away, like you can tell it's a fake head, but like that one shot where he's like holding his head like down like at his chest, and then it's like you see the his reflection in the window, and then Megan's dad, the dean, is,
when he's in the cell, the padded cell
behind it. Yeah, and it's clear that they actually filmed it. It's actually David Gale's body, but it looks like the effect looks like her father.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool one.
Yeah, that was really cool shot.
My favorite gore scene is when the his headless body like explodes and like all the guts come out and they're like grabbing Herbert and stuff.
Yeah, it's like every part of him.
Like
it's like every part of him comes to life.
Double dosage in his back, and he like freaks. Whoa! You see his body freaking out.
The intestines come to life. It's like every part of him's alive now, like the Thing, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. Cool scene. Yeah, great gore. Very, very graphic and gruesome, but in a really like fun way.
Mm-hmm.
How about the one part where they're talking to Dr. Hill, and then he puts his head back on his neck the other way, and he's like talking.
When he's like watching his body stumble, watching his body stumble around, knocking stuff over. He's like, ah. Yeah, I guess there's a deleted scene at the end where Herbert West actually shows up with Dan, and he's like, "Oh, Carl Hill didn't kill you," and he's like, "Oh, he didn't have the guts." or something like that. But I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think it's a
that is
DVD.
the special features of Bride of Re-Animator.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was the beginning of. Oh, okay. Maybe it was part of that movie then.
Yeah, they recasted Barbara Crampton, so it's not her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had that scene with Megan after he brings her back, right?
That makes more sense. Yeah. Man, I need to get that era video of the Bride too.
Yeah.
No, I really want it.
It was odd because Herbert West shows up and he's like, "Bill didn't kill me. He didn't have the guts." Done there.
They should have kept that line. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think my favorite line in the first one is "Who's gonna believe a talking head? Get a job at a sideshow." And then when the cat is like lifeless again, and Herbert West is like and he scares Danny. He starts laughing at him because he didn't really have much of a sense of humor in the movies. It's kind of funny to see him like make jokes like every once in a while. He's very like serious most of the time, and deadpan, so this makes it all the more humorous.
Oh, that whole cat scene it's like
crazy
fake because they want it to look fake.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate animals suffering in movies, but in this one, it just looks so freaking fake that it doesn't even bother me. It's like, that is not even close to look like a real cat. Like, that's just like, that's the one effect in the movie that doesn't look so good. But it was intentional. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like I could have made a better puppet than that.
Except the one part looked pretty good when he threw him against the wall and he's like,
yeah, a couple of shots, but. Yeah, this is my favorite Stuart Gordon directed movie as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's a great director, and this is by far his best work. Him and Brian Yuzna, I guess, collaborated quite a few times. He produced this one, and I think maybe co-wrote it, and he directed the 2 sequels, of course.
Brian Yuzna did, yeah.
Yeah, right, Brian Yuzna. I like when Alan Halsey, Meg's dad, the Dean.
Dean, yeah.
When she's like, when he kind of turns good at the end, because she's like, Daddy, snap out of it, and then Alan kind of realizes that he actually fights Dr. Hill. That was pretty cool. And when
until he gets ripped to pieces,
by the other zombies.
The zombies tear him apart.
Yeah, it's like, dang. It just really hits the fan towards the end. It's like, when I first watched this, I was like, whoa. I was like, what the hell did I just watch? But it was awesome. I think at the time, this is the most, either this or the first Evil Dead were the most over-the-top horror movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Up to that point. Yeah, I agree. I wish a 4th Re-Animator would happen.
I know.
House of Re-Animator. They talked about it years ago. Political zombies, zombies in the White House. Imagine that. But
what if they brought Meg back as Re-Animator,
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
They found her body or something.
Right, something. Come with something. Yeah, zombies in the White House. That practically writes itself. What zombies in Washington D.C. That just has all kinds of all kinds of possibilities.
Bring back one of the ex-presidents that died or something.
Yeah. bring back a bunch of them. Hell, bring back Abraham Lincoln and Calvin Coolidge and Grover Cleveland and Franklin Roosevelt. Bring back a bunch of them. Sound like an army of presidential zombies, and vice presidents. And
sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't do another one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been. I don't even know if it was ever really in development. I think it was just kind of in talks. Or it might
they
have
just
been
talked about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever went into any kind of level of production. I think it was just kind of more of a rumor, like something they wanted to do, and then it was rumored that it was. Actually, I thought it was actually being made at one point, so that was just a rumor. But it would have been nice. But it's not too late. I'd still watch it if it came out now.
Yeah. Definitely.
Shermalo Scott is in the chat.
What's up?
How's it going, Shermalo Scott? Shamarlos. Yeah, I can't wait for the new Beavis and Butthead. I watched that movie, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. It's pretty
I
funny.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I thought that not having any of the other supporting characters like older was kind of a missed opportunity, but they're probably saving that for this upcoming revival of the series, maybe, hopefully.
They're gonna bring back the winger kid or whatever. What was his name?
Stewart. Yeah, he was there briefly, and Van Driesen. They were there briefly at the beginning with like no lines like in the courtroom scene. But then they, I want to see older versions of them when they like jumped ahead. But yeah, I want to see McVicker and Buzzcut and Van Driesen. Yeah, Stewart, Todd. Lolita and Tanqueray. Mike Pope's in the chat. How's it going, Mike?
Hello.
You ate some food. What a coincidence. Me too. I'm always eating though. So.
Which one's the teacher? I think it's the principal, and he's always shaking.
McVicker. Beavis and Butthead. Oh, you're both expelled. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, I've always tried to imitate him. Like, Beavis and Butthead.
I freaking love that show. I remember when it first came out, and I was just like, the first season actually wasn't quite as good as the second, like some of the later ones onward, because I feel like Mike Judge hadn't really hadn't really developed the voices and the characters yet.
Yeah.
But it was still awesome, and I was just hooked right away.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that new series.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
R.I.P. Michael Jackson. Wasn't that like 25 years ago?
A little late on that, but yeah, sure. Ryan James Dio would have been 80 on the 10th earlier this month.
Yes, Brian Re-Animator is fantastic. I agree.
Yes, absolutely. Great sequel. Anything else you guys want to say about the original 1985 classic directed by Stuart Gordon?
10 out of 10.
Definitely.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece.
Oh, yeah. What am I?
Phenomenal.
If
you guys out there have not seen this, you have to immediately buy it right away.
Yeah, go watch it right now.
Right now. Turn this off and watch it now.
Yeah, stop what you're doing. Go watch it right now.
Strange Monkey. What's up, man?
Strange Monkey. How's it going? I agree. That it does. And the sequel, Bride of Re-Animator, is really darn good too.
Yes, it is.
Love it. Yeah, man, I need to upgrade to the Blu-ray.
I want that one. Yeah, I want the one he has. That's
Is
awesome.
that a DVD?
Yeah, that's an Arrow release too.
Yeah. Is yours a DVD, Sean?
Yeah, it's DVD. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just with a different cover than mine.
Like a special edition one.
Oh, look
at. There you go. Yeah, Jeffrey Combs returns as Herbert West, along with Bruce Abbott back again as Dan Kane, and the villainous disembodied head of Dr. Hill, who's without his body this time because it was destroyed, and somehow his head's back intact despite being crushed by Alan and Halsey and thrown against the wall. But oh well. I guess somebody put it back together. I don't know. But I'm glad because he's an awesome villain. And he gets his wings in this movie, so to speak.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, this one might be even more over top than the original, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
It's a little more.
It might be.
Yeah. A lot of it feels like some of it's taken like a little more seriously, like not like I don't mean like when it comes to the gore and stuff, but it seems like there's a little bit less humor in this one. It's still funny in a lot of parts.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's actually in a way kind of like scarier and a little more disturbing, which is cool, of course. The first movie had some creepy moments, but was mostly just really fun. I think this one's
Those
a little
scenes
more
with the
horrific.
those scenes with the zombies in the padded room kind of
Yeah, because
that
he's
nasty.
because now he's really pulling a Frankenstein and like creating new beings made from like stitched together body parts, deceased limbs and organs and stuff.
He's got his
from
little
anatomy.
stash of freaks in
Yeah,
the room, hidden behind the wall.
yeah. It's like an arm, arm like attached to a leg, and then there's like that thing with the fingers and the eyeball, and then a dog with a human arm. It gets really out there. There's all kinds of crazy, grotesque creations that he didn't even tell anybody about until they don't show up till the end. It's just like, Bruce Abbott has a look. Dan Cain has a look like, what have you been doing this?
This morbid doodling with human body parts. I didn't sign up for this.
Right. Christ, Herbert, he's a cop.
That's what all our great work has led to.
Yeah, a lot of great lines.
Brings him back with the heart, Meg's heart.
Yeah.
What was it you loved about Meg?
It's weird they want to use her heart. Like, why not use her brain? Because wouldn't that be her? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish.
But she didn't want to come back for it.
Yeah, I wish Barbara Crampton could have returned.
I know.
But Kathleen Kinmont plays the bride, and she's and her and Barbara Crampton were also in that movie Fraternity Vacation, which is a comedy. I got it on VHS. Yeah. Stephen Jeffries was in that too. I love those cheesy 80s comedies, like at the beach and stuff. But yeah, it's really horrific stuff in this one. Very gruesome. I think they kind of upped the ante when it comes to that. But I do prefer the first one, of course.
I love the effects on the bride, though. It's sick, man.
Yeah,
like,
very, very excellent makeup work. And Kathleen Kinmont. I was watching like a behind the scenes thing, like kind of showing. She was talking about like how many hours and everything that they deploy. I was like, dang, she really committed to the role a lot, much like Barbara Crampton did as Meg in the first one.
Yep.
Bruce Abbott, Dan Cain seems a little more badass this time. He's like a lot more muscular, and he kind of like stands up to Herbert a little more, like
yeah,
we're kind of butting heads a little bit. Yeah, just like, man, why is
still macking on the ladies and the hot girl?
Yeah, much to Herbert's dismay, he's like, you just focus on our work. Stop, stop thinking about the ladies. You're distracted. And then it's like, why is he still hanging around Herbert? God, it's his fault that his girlfriend died, but I guess he believes that's the only way they can bring her back. And it feels kind of incomplete, like we missed something where it just kind of starts. It's like, oh yeah, it didn't work out when he brought her back at the end of the first one. That's why they probably should have kept that deleted scene in, because this one kind of picks up and doesn't really explain, how it got there.
Yeah.
And they still graduate and got to be doctors even after all that mess.
How does that work? Yeah, the continuity is a little loose, I would say. It's almost like we missed something.
Like Herbert got kicked out of college, but he still became a doctor somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I think he'd probably be like wanted and stuff
in
too.
The same town, the same.
Yeah.
I do find it funny that how they explain Dr. Hill's head in this movie is that he was found at the circus. And I'm like,
yeah. So
but,
I guess he took West's advice.
But Brian, I'm a fan of his. He knows how to make some pretty gross horror. I mean, this did Society.
Yeah.
But
that movie is disgusting, but it's awesome.
A Return to the Living Dead 3.
Yeah.
Which I love,
Yeah. So he's a good director. Knows how to do it.
He's great. I wish he would do another one. Because Stuart Gordon did the first one and used that to the sequels, and he did all kinds of very similar movies that kind of similar tone with the gross out factor and the over the top feel.
Yep.
I think Jeffrey Combs was like equally as good in this one. Like he's really good
Oh
still.
yeah, absolutely. He still got it. Yeah, I could just watch him all day.
We will create new life.
Yeah. I made you.
Stop thinking with the little head, Dan.
Yeah.
That
Watch Peter, Dan, get him. Like when the
Oh, you're just a dead head.
buddy.
I like when that other scientist, the one that's like assisting Dr. Hill, when he first brings Dr. Hill back to life, and or he first comes back to life, and he's like, oh, you're familiar with my work, yeah. He's like,
yeah,
really idiotic.
totally idiotic. You mental midget.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that scene where Herbert West and Dan are like have that dead body in the wheelchair with sunglasses on trying to be serious. I was like, what is this, Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, really. Yeah, that came out the next year. Maybe that took, or the same year actually. Yeah, 89.
Was it the same year?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's funny.
But
yeah, there's quite a lot of good humor in this one too.
mhm.
I love the last scene with the bride. Was this what you want? She pulls the heart out.
Oh yeah,
falls apart.
Yeah, it really hits the fan at the end too, just like the original did. Just like wow.
Obviously, a lot of Bride of Frankenstein in that one.
Big time, yeah, definitely. And the fact that she had come alive to pretty much the climax too, much like in Bride of Frankenstein.
And then she rejects her, just like
right, yeah, just like
the monster rejects.
Yep. I mean, like everything Herbert West says in this movie, for some reason, makes me laugh. Like when they're coming through the door, and he's like, "My God, they're using tools."
Oh yeah, every line is just pure gold. Like the man's just so funny to watch, even when it was like unintentional.
Definitely a great sequel and very underrated. Like you don't hear about it much.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wish I was talked about a little more. There's so many people who have only seen the first one and they never bothered with the sequels. Like, oh, come on, you got to see more of. I wanted more. I want even more than just these three. I could watch 10 Herbert West movies.
Bring it on.
Yeah, really. Anything else you guys want to add about Bride of Re-Animator?
Underrated as hell.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Check it out, guys.
Yeah, terrific.
Highly underrated.
The legs of a hooker and the womb of a virgin. And like the, I don't know, wasn't like the.
Like you said, just as like crazy, batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, there was sadly the final installment in the trilogy, Beyond Re-Animator.
I just rewatched it this past week in preparation. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I need to get that Vestron Video Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I
enjoy it. It's not. It's definitely not as good as the first two, but
the first two are better, but this one, this one really feels genuine. Like it doesn't. It fits in this. It fits with the series perfectly. Like Jeffrey Combs hasn't aged a day. He looks exactly the same. He acts the same. He's the same character. It's still really over the top. The climax, it just gets really. It just like gradually escalates. It gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah,
there's plenty of really gory, really out there moments. Seeing a reanimated or a severed male
penis.
Have a fight with a rat pretty much says it all. It has to be seen to be believed. And I feel like
seeing it like throughout the movie, like he's playing with it.
It's cool because like Jeffrey, like Herbert West gets arrested at the very beginning, and then he's put in like a prison. So most of the movie takes place in a prison, which I think was a good setting for this sort of thing. So the convicts and like the guards and the warden
setting,
Yeah, and then the evil warden is basically like filling in for the Dr. Hill role. He's a very similar kind of antagonist, kind of like a ruthless dictator type. And then there's even like a female lead who's kind of like Barbara Crampton, and then the new Herbert West's new assistant, the blonde-haired guy, is of course like Bruce Abbott, and he's more into women than he is with the work, but he's obsessed with Herbert West's work because it's his fault that his sister died. It's really weird. It's like,
Yeah.
These guys want to work with him, even though he caused some heartache in their life. But yeah, a lot of it is like kind of repetition. I do really wish that Bruce Abbott could have came back.
That's the big missing part for me. Yeah, there's not that dynamic between them,
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
And the other doctor's definitely not the same,
Right? Yeah, it's not quite as intricate. But for what it is, it's still a damn good sequel, in my opinion. It could have been a lot worse considering it came out in 2003. Long after the the 80s were done. So, but it fits in well. It still has the same feel, the same tone. It fits nicely. It is my least favorite, but just because it's the weakest doesn't mean it's not really good, which it is.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yep. I'll go into this. I have a Re-Animator collection. Do I need this many? Not really, but do I want them? Sure. And I bought the Arrow video of Beyond Re-Animator with the glowing cover. And
oh wow!
Unfortunately, I didn't see that it was Region B. So
yeah, I was about to say I didn't think that Beyond had a Arrow video release in the US.
You can
just
see
had that
that.
best run video. Yeah. You always got to be careful to look for that rating that's like 18 or whatever.
Yeah, but Vestron too, or the Vestron. But this is a cool collector's thing to have.
Oh, absolutely,
it's a cool cover. I like that.
Yeah. I now when it comes to the movie, I saw this one much later than the first two, and I was kind of worried at first because I'm like, it comes out early 2000s on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm like,
it's kind of a red flag.
Pretty fun. I know that they filmed this movie in Spain, so you can tell a lot of people are dubbed over. But it's fun. It's bloody. It's a good time. Jeffrey Combs steps right back into that role and delivers another great performance. And the effects, I mean, for being low budget, are good. Like the one scene where that asshole split in half and he's hanging around like,
It has like nudity and stuff too, which I don't remember because I didn't see it when it was on Sci-Fi Channel. Did it have all that and the nudity and the?
I don't think so. I didn't watch it either, but I doubt it. But like when the one junkie drug addict guy like injects way too much of the serum, he like mutates into like a bloody skeleton. He's like, "Oh, come on, man, give me another hit." And her was like, "I think you've had enough." Like really serious and deadpan. That was one of the funniest parts of the movie.
Yeah, I think the big thing this time is what they explain is now not just doing, well, once he gets his stuff, he's not just doing reagent. He has a new technique that kind of puts the soul into somebody.
Yeah, extracting the soul like in Frankenstein created woman.
Yeah.
Extracting their soul. And that was a little out there, but what can you do? I guess they had to do something different.
Yeah. What's up, Drum Smash?
Drum Smash 88 in the chat. How's it going, brother? Yeah, the whole soul thing is a bit much for me, but I guess he got tired of the zombies becoming mindless, madmen, and he was trying to figure out a way to make them more.
There has to be some progression,
Yeah,
can't just be it's just gonna be mindless zombies. What's next?
I kind of take.
How do their experiments must go further than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I kind of take him as somebody who wouldn't even believe in souls, but apparently he does. He's a man of science, It's usually those types are.
Yeah, I do this with certain movies that I see just because it's fun to nitpick. But the girl that his, I don't know, the guy who's in love with the girl that comes to the prison to interview people and whatever. when you find out she's interviewing and researching Herbert West, she comes across that photo in the newspaper. And I'm like, who took that photo?
Yeah, really.
You just find a picture of him holding a syringe out of nowhere.
Yeah, they do that a lot in movies. Yeah, like he just posed for the camera. There's a massacre going on, a bunch of zombies. Like, excuse me, say cheese. Like, expect it. And they do that all the time in movies. They're like just a screenshot from from the movie, and it's like, who took that picture?
Yeah,
it happens in Critters too.
Maybe he
It
did a
happens
spread in the magazine or something. The
yeah,
interview with Herbert West.
yeah. Let's hope so.
yeah. The one that always struck me was Halloween 4. Jamie looking at the photo of Laura. I'm like, who took the photo of her?
Maybe Michael Myers took it.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty good, brother.
Oh, absolutely, James.
I agree. Most definitely.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of great bands that aren't there, and it's ridiculous. Hence why I don't really take it seriously. Because it's like, who decides these things really when it comes down to it?
Mm-hmm.
But,
At least they just got Maiden, right?
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Judas Priest. No, it was Judas Priest, actually.
Or yeah. You're
Finally
right.
in, yeah.
Yep.
I don't pay too much attention to it, but yeah, it's about time.
Yep.
Anything else you guys want to say about Beyond Re-Animator, or just the trilogy as a whole?
Well, I love this trilogy. It's my second favorite trilogy behind Evil Dead, of course. But,
mine too.
Fantastic, fun trilogy. If anyone hasn't seen it, I don't think we spoiled anything really. So watch them and enjoy them.
Absolutely. You will not be disappointed, hopefully. All right, so how do you guys want to go about the rest of the movies that Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton starred in?
Barb from
Okay,
Beyond.
Yeah.
Let's do an order, I guess. Yep. This was also directed by Stuart Gordon and also starred Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton. In addition to Ken Foray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite horror actors.
Yep. See,
I like
now,
him in this too.
Yeah, he's great in this.
See
right
this
Dawn of the Dead.
Blu-rays, and I'm stuck with this horrible cover DVD. What the hell is that?
Yeah, it looks like some Sci-Fi Channel original movie.
That's on the disc, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah. This cover is one of those covers that doesn't do the movie justice.
I like
Yeah, a lot
the
of
original
those-
poster. Too.
Yeah, the original poster is awesome. I still got the VHS of that with that very cover on it. Yeah, humans are such easy prey. That's so cool. Dr. Pretorius, who of course got his name from Bride of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Stuart Gordon was clearly a fan, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and Brian Yuzna, who of course produced this one as well.
This movie reminds me like of The Thing when it comes to like the effects and stuff.
Yeah, amazing
really
effects.
crazy effects and stuff, like gore.
Yeah, like the transformations, like the mutations and stuff, especially the Pretorius character, like the way his body shifts and morphs into all these crazy forms. Yeah, just it's so gross, but just so awesome.
Yeah.
And, this movie might possibly be even more out there than Re-Animator when it comes to the storyline, because I feel like whenever I try to explain the story of this movie, I'm just kind of like, I don't know how to describe it in words. It's hard to explain.
Well, these two scientists come up with the machine, the resonator.
They're trying to stimulate the pineal gland, and then I guess they end up kind of opening up another dimension, and then like Jeffrey Combs' character develops a third eye, and only he can see, some of these otherworldly creatures and stuff, and then Pretorius gets sucked in and comes out and mutates, kind of like in Slither.
Yeah, turns on Barbara Crampton, something fierce.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, she was like bondage obsessed, BDSM, seductress type. It's like this kid was out of nowhere.
Yeah, but admittedly, when that scene happens, I was just kind of like,
Okay.
yeah, I love this movie. You got three of my favorite people: Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Ken Furry. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's a winning combination right there.
Yep, and yeah, the effects are wacky but fun, and this is a weird movie. It's like everyone's on ecstasy in this movie.
It seems like each movie that Brian Yuzna worked on got weirder and weirder and weirder. Like, because in Society, I think it was even weirder than this one. It's just like, man.
Yep, and Jeffrey Combs in this movie, Crawford Tillinghast or whatever.
Yeah.
He good acting in this movie. That scene where he's just like, and it bit off his head like a gingerbread man. I'm like,
yeah. So dramatic. Such a great delivery.
Yes.
No, I love it. Yeah, Jeffrey Combs.
I like Barbara Crampton a lot. Like, she had a much more upfront role than, say, Re-Animator. Like,
yeah, Re-Animator, she was almost mostly like a victim throughout.
Yeah,
like a good chunk of it. She just kind of screamed and ran away. But in this one, yeah, like you said, she's much more involved. Like, has a much more of a expanded role and plays a very different character.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's great in both movies.
Definitely.
Jeffrey Combs was also in Frightmare. I've got that on VHS. And I didn't feel like digging it out. It's not that good. And then he was in that movie Fortress with Christopher Lambert and Kurtwood Smith from RoboCop, playing a great villain. He was kind of like a scientist character too. I think he was kind of like the genius of the group of all the prisoners in this like futuristic prison. But he was one of the best parts of that movie too. Go figure. He's just been a lot of great. He's had a lot of like bit parts in movies.
Have you seen the movie Would You Rather?
That came out recently, didn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. Is it any good?
He has a big role in that. He's like controls
cool.
the whole party.
I'll definitely have to see it then.
Yeah. He's the puppet master, if you will. They're enjoying everything and controlling.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a pretty good movie.
I saw him in this movie. It was an anthology, and I think it had a Halloween theme. Yeah, he was kind of the host, and it was like a really bad movie, but he was good in it, and like all of his scenes were awesome. But then like when it during the segments, it was like, oh man, where is he at? He needs to come back because the movie was kind of meh. I forget what that was called.
Was it called Necronomicon?
Well, yeah, he was in that. Yeah, that was like sometime in the 90s, I think. This was like more recently. Like, this was like a post 2000 thing. Yeah, Necronomicon. I remember that. I used to rent that from the video store. It's been years since I've seen that.
One I liked was...
That was based on H.P. Lovecraft too, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I think Brian Yuzna directed it, at least a couple segments or something. What were you going to say, Sean? I'm sorry.
One that I like was called Night of the Living Dead 3D Re-Animation.
Oh, yeah.
With him and Andrew Devoff.
Andrew Devoff.
Yeah.
From Wishmaster.
From Wishmaster, yeah.
That's why I bought this movie, because of Jeffrey Combs.
It's not bad. It's a lot better than the one with friggin' Sid Haig or whatever.
I would hope so. Gosh, that movie was awful. Yeah, I bought that because I was a fan of Sid Haig, and I was like, that's a Night of the Living Dead movie. It might be kind of fun, but oh man, it was just...
It's bad.
It's pretty...
This one, I like the...
There's a lot of bad movies I can watch, and that's not one of them.
Yeah, this is like a turn your brain off and just have fun with it movie.
Yeah.
Or literally like a computer animated bullet, and you're like, oh god, oh well.
Then there's Brutal. You ever see that? Where he played the sheriff guy tracking down the serial killer.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Maybe a long time ago.
Brutal.
Brutal.
He's basically the main guy. He plays the sheriff. He's like lazy and drunk. It's like a weird character for him.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, that was like kind of like somewhat. That was like post 2000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like.
I think I vaguely remember that. I think he played a similar character, like a cop or a detective, in that Faust, Love of the Damned movie, which was pretty bad. But Andrew Divoff was great as the devil, essentially.
And there's the House on Haunted Hill remake, right?
Yeah.
He was opening and everything.
Yeah, he was one of the best parts, once again.
Now, there's a movie that I remember seeing, but it's been so long I'm forgetting. But it's like a sci-fi action called The Guyver, and he was in that.
Yeah.
And he looked like Herbert West.
He does. Guys, that movie was such false advertising because I remember the VHS cover and I read it had Mark Hamill, like half of his face. It looked like he was the Guyver. It said Mark Hamill, starring Mark Hamill. The poster totally looked like he was becoming the Guyver. I was like, he doesn't play the Guyver. I was like, no, such false advertising. But it's an okay movie from what I remember. The Guyver 2 Dark Hero, which had an R rating. But him and Barbara Crampton, of course, were in Trancers 2.
Yeah.
With Tim Thomerson.
Love that movie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Trancers movies are great.
I like all of them. I was just watching the fourth one for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Jack of Swords.
Yeah. I could do without part 6, but, you know.
That one I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it. But,
yeah.
I had the first 3, I believe, on DVD. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Trancers 2 the most, and one scene that made me laugh was when there was a Trancer, but Jack just shows up in a golf cart and starts shooting him.
Yeah, Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton weren't even really in it that much. So.
Yeah.
She looked gorgeous as that newscaster or whatever.
Yeah, she's a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
She still looks really good, too.
Yeah.
She's aged very well.
Jeffrey Combs Trancers 2 does look pretty menacing with the slick back hair and a goatee.
Yeah. I forgot that Martine Beswick was in that, from the old Hammer movies.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that, too. And then, of course, there's Castle Freak with Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton once again. And surprise, surprise, it's directed by Stuart Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite full moon movies. I think it's one of the most, one of the scariest, one of the creepiest, and great looking monster. I think I forget the guy's name, but I think he designed the makeup too. I think he designed the costume, or helped design it or something.
Oh, it's great
really cool
makeup job.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing.
Absolutely. This movie surprised me because originally when I saw it, I'm like, oh, Stuart Gordon, Jeffrey Combs is going to be fun. It's a pretty dark, atmospheric movie.
It's taken pretty seriously. It's pretty bleak,
And the history with, Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton's character would happen in the car accident.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty messed up.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see them as a married couple this time. It's kind of a different. So in Re-Animator, they didn't really get along. It's kind of interesting to see a totally different dynamic.
Yeah.
And he's messing around. He's behind her back, and
right.
They got the blind daughter. She's blind.
Right.
Yeah. This is a pretty messed up movie.
Yeah. He's one of Full Moon's best.
Yeah, this is back when Full Moon was actually pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of new stuff, but their most recent stuff just looks way too cheap.
Yeah, a lot of it's a little too stupid.
The early stuff, they actually took things fairly seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
I liked it
first
better when
Trances and the
subspecies and Puppet
first
Master.
Puppet
and,
Master.
but now they're doing Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man. And I can't even watch stuff like that anymore.
The Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah. Gary Busey must have been really desperate for money when he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this movie, you get to see the monsters jump, which I wasn't excited about. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was expecting that. Full frontal. I haven't seen that remake yet.
I own it. I watched it. I'm just like,
is it
The
any good?
remake of Castle Freak.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I think there's more than one Castle Freak in this one, isn't it?
Thank
Isn't there
you.
like a few of them or something?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I saw the trailer and I don't know. But yeah, Jeffrey Combs is in quite a few other full moon movies.
Yep.
Of course, Pit and the Pendulum.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, from what I remember, it's pretty good. It's been a while since I've watched it too, so it's not fresh in my mind. But I love Lance Henriksen, and of course, Jeffrey Combs and Oliver Reed, who's another one of my favorite actors, are both in it.
Ooh.
I probably prefer the Vincent Price original, but this one's pretty good too. And I, from what I remember, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, of course, it's based on the Edgar Allan Poe story, which is cool. But the original was directed by Roger Corman and starred Vincent Price. So, but yeah, this is pretty cool too, from what I remember. It's actually pretty brutal in a lot of parts. Pretty brutal from the time it came out in like the early 90s.
Check that out.
Yeah, I recommend it. And of course, he also did Dr. Mordred, which was originally supposed to be a Doctor Strange adaptation, Marvel's Doctor Strange. But I guess they couldn't get the rights or something, so they changed it. But it's very similar, and it's kind of like it kind of does seem like a kind of a more low budget Doctor Strange. And then Brian Thompson plays the villain. And, there's a scene where,
named Cabal.
Yeah. And then there's a scene where a skeletal dinosaur comes to life. It's a pretty cool movie. Has some cool effects. It's really cool to see Jeffrey Combs, as the star once again, and have mystical powers and stuff.
Yeah, there's a scene that I love from that movie, if I'm even getting it right. But Brian Thompson's just like looking at the dinosaur and like, I remember them being bigger, and then the kid was ick. It's like,
he played a way better villain in this than in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And of course, he was one of the punks at the beginning of the Terminator, and he was Bosworth in Fright Night Part 2.
And he was the main villain in Cobra with Stallone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that was good. I love that.
Yeah, he's good in that one.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes you think of Terminator now, like wash day tomorrow, nothing clean, right?
Clean, right? If you look real closely, if you watch Brian Desna's face when Bill Paxton's talking, not Brian Desna, Brian Thompson. I watch Brian Thompson's face, and when Bill Paxton's talking, he's like looking Arnold up and down, like. I didn't notice that like the first 20 times I watched it. Yeah, it's funny though. He's like kind of looking down. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Another Jeffrey Combs movie I like is The Frighteners. It's of course directed by Peter Jackson, who did Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead, outside of the U.S., and of course Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles. Pretty cool. They used to do horror movies. I wish he would return to that, but I like Lord of the Rings and King Kong too. But yeah, this is a really cool movie. Yeah, with ghosts. Yeah, Michael J. Fox stars as Frank Bannister, who can see ghosts, and he's kind of a con man but the ghosts kind of help him like haunt houses, and then he comes and gets rid of them. And then Jeffrey Combs is shockingly one of the best parts too. He plays Dammers. He's like an obsessed, like an FBI agent who's just like totally nuts and just really over the top and just really off the wall and I know he came up with a lot of the traits that his character has, like a lot of the tics and the voices and like some of his look was all Jeffrey Combs' idea, which is a testament to what a great actor he was. Yeah, really, really cool movie. Some of the CGI hasn't aged very well. is kind of dated, but other than that, I really like it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I will say I like your cover better than this one, though. I've always loved the post. But yeah, it's fun. You know, it's one of those Halloween staples you watch around October.
Yes.
And just enjoyable. I know that originally Peter Jackson wanted this to be gorier, but the damn MPAA was just, no. So he just said, fuck it.
I think originally he was shooting for a PG-13 rating, but then when they said you got to make it R, he tried to make it gorier. But the only scene that the only really gory scene that was left intact was well, in case you haven't seen it, a certain character's head exploding by a shotgun blast. He added that in after he was able to, after he's made it R-rated.
Yeah.
Damn MPAA, always censoring my movies.
Now, of course, you had Barbara Crampton and Shopping Mall.
I love this Vestron video Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it's
a really
cool.
nice one.
It's so cool that they're doing that with the original logo too. When they first,
who would have thought this movie would get such a nice release?
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've got the slip cover on my shelf out there. But yeah, it's a good movie. I always liked it. I've got the Lightning video VHS too. But yeah, it's killer robots. And they look like number 5 from Short Circuit.
Yeah.
On steroids. But
the
head being exploded by the laser. Yeah, it's a really fun movie. Just good old 80s cheese.
It's just 80s cheese, yes.
Yeah. Bunch of promiscuous teens breaking into a mall and getting slaughtered by these droids.
It's fun. I love those little damn robots that just kill you and be like, have a nice day. The dialogue in this movie is perfection. You know, like, you smell like pepperoni. Wait a minute. I like pepperoni. And it's like, what the hell?
Oscar-worthy line right there.
Yes.
What a performance.
Yeah, but as you said, that laser head explosion, I don't think it's up there with Scanners, but it's a good head explosion.
Yes, it
is.
Yeah,
it was one of the best parts, the laser beam blowing her head clean off.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Wynorski directed it.
Yep. Got Dick Miller in there.
Yeah. He was in so many movies in the 80s. Like, oh my gosh. And he always had the name either Walter or Walt, which is the same name as his Walter Paisley character from the original Bucket of Blood, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Dick Miller was kind of like the Stan Lee of horror movies. He'd pop up in so many things. You'd be like, hey, Dick Miller.
There he is. It's like instead of Where's Waldo, just play Where's Dick Miller, find him in those different horror movies and stuff.
But yeah, the Vestron Blu-ray, big upgrade. I have the DVD and that quality was shite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the DVD too, and the Blu-ray is a huge improvement. I like the cover better too than the DVD. Yeah, she was in that too, huh?
Yeah. A good role in that.
I got it in this pack thing, but yeah, you're next. Talk about one underrated ass final girl that does not take.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah, she really fights back.
Kicks ass,
Yeah.
I don't know where she got these skills from, but damn.
Yeah, she was awesome in that. I wish she could do a guest appearance on our live stream someday. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I feel like
Barbara Crampton. How about that?
Yeah, man, that'd be so cool.
I feel like with your next, they had to add multiple killers to make it more satisfying, because how many times in a horror movie do they get the killer down and you're just like, finish him, don't just hit him.
Yeah, really. I know they do this so much. They just knock him out and then just make sure he doesn't get back up.
Anytime they come in, she brutally kills them. But real quick, Barbara Crampton was in Puppet Master at the little table getting her future read.
Briefly, yeah. Just like a cameo, pretty much.
She was also in Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich.
Yeah. She had a slightly bigger role in that one.
Yep.
One recent one I really enjoyed, Jacob's Wife.
Yep.
Really cool role in that.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, check it out, man. It's awesome. I almost wish the only thing I would say I wish she went full villain.
Mhm.
That'd be cool
Kind
to
of
see,
still
yeah.
good, kind of still good at the end, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be. Yeah, that would have been really cool.
There's a few
I think-
scenes where she kind of almost goes there, you know.
Yeah.
Want to see her go
Close.
full villain, you know.
Yeah.
Look at my laptop. Whoops. Here we go. That's better. I think her first movie was that body double film with Craig
Oh, yeah.
Watson. Yeah,
That was a
Craig
good
Watson
movie.
from Nightmare 3. Yeah, that's a good one. Kind of like a thriller, seedy thriller. Yeah, I believe that was her first or one of her first.
I
Oh,
love it.
before Re-Animator, I believe.
That was well, what's that Alfred Hitchcock
4, I think, or 83.
where that pretty much started a thing where like you look in the thing and see a killer or something across the
Mhm.
house. It's in that vein, and
Rear
like
Window, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot like that.
Started out when soap operas like Days of Our Lives and stuff.
Right, right. Getting some more light in here.
Well, happy birthday, Shamarlos.
That's better. Oh, today's Deborah Voorhees' birthday, isn't it?
Yep, happy birthday,
that's
Deborah. Great having her on the show too.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah,
Mm.
I hope we get to do something like that again. It's
Yeah.
Michael Ammett from Carcass. His birthday too today.
Nice.
There's a lot of birthdays recently for some of my favorite celebs.
I don't think I've asked you. Do you like Arch Enemy?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of their stuff. It's good. I prefer Carcass. I think that Angela
me too. Oh,
Gassel.
you kidding me? It's not even a.
Yeah. I think Angela
Question.
Gassel was kind of sounded like Jeff Walker a little bit.
I liked her better. Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I did
nastier.
too. Yeah. I don't remember what the new woman's name is, but yeah,
Alyssa White Glutz or something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think Archie's pretty good, but yeah, there's. I haven't heard very much, but from what I heard, sounds good to me. But yeah, nowhere near as good as Carcass. Not even close. All right, anything else you guys want to say about Jeffrey Combs or Barbara Crampton?
That's all I got to say. Yes.
Like two horror icons.
Yes.
Most definitely. You guys ready to talk about some Queensrÿche?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw them in She's coming for you. Dun, dun, dun. Man, it opened with that when I saw him live earlier this year, and oh man, I was just in heaven. I was just like, wow, this is one of the best moments of my life.
Nice.
They put on a great show. Yeah, like I said before, Jeff Tate. I wish I could have seen it with Jeff Tate. He's one of my favorite singers, and Chris DeGarmo for that matter. It really wasn't the same after he left, and then of course Jeff Tate left. Now drummer Scott Rockenfield isn't even with him anymore. He wasn't with him when I saw him, so there's really only guitarist Michael Wilton and bassist Eddie Jackson from the original lineup, and it's pretty much like a Queen tribute band now. Queensrÿche tribute band, not Queen. But Todd Latour is great. He's a great vocalist in his own right. It's kind of the closest thing to hearing Jeff Tate in his prime. You know, Jeff Tate doesn't hit those high notes quite as
He can hit the high notes. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a great drummer too, actually, and he played drums on I think a couple of the newer Queensrÿche albums. I haven't really heard any of their new material with him, but I just know he did a great job when I saw him live.
I heard the first one, the self-titled.
Yeah,
Queensrÿche.
I heard a little bit And yeah, what I heard was good, but it's just not the same band without Jeff and Chris for that matter. And now
They were
without
trying it sounded like they're trying to go back to like the Warning
yeah,
era or
back to
like,
the roots.
Yeah.
Which is good because they're admittedly their last few albums with Jeff weren't all that good. From like American Soldier.
yeah.
I'll say I did listen to their 2019 album, The Verdict, and I actually liked it. But Todd Latour's solo album that came out, when I listened to that, I actually like that more than what he's done with Queensrÿche so far. Like there's elements of thrash. There's one like bonus track where he's doing death metal vocals.
Really?
Like,
wow.
Yeah. Oh wow. Huh.
Called Todd Latour, Rejoice in the Suffering. Great album.
Oh wow. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, there's no denying that he's very talented, but no matter who they get, it's just not going to be the same to me because I'm just such a huge fan of Jeff Tate.
Yeah.
He's in my top 5 favorite metal vocalists of all time. He's just incredible. Serious pipes. But yeah, the first one of their first releases before they did a studio album. I think they recorded this anyway back when they were called the Mob, or at least wrote most of these songs back then. And they named their band after the song Queen of the Reich, which is still my favorite song they've ever done. Queen of the Reich.
Phenomenal.
It's an awesome song. It's pretty heavy too. It's fast and it's furious, kind of thrashy almost. And then Jeff Tate's high notes are just freaking phenomenal, just absolutely mind blowing. Like that was the first song I ever heard by them, and I was just instantly hooked. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I could just go out and buy all their albums now," because I'm just that's all I've heard. I'm a huge fan. This was decades ago, but wow, did they win me over? And then
in the dead of the night, the come takes you away.
Yeah, Todd Latour did a great job singing that too. But there's only one Jeff Tate, and. Other great tracks too. Yeah, Queen of the Reich, and then Knight Rider, Blinded, The Lady Wore Black. But yeah, one cool thing about this release is it doesn't just have the 4-track EP. It also has some bonus tracks from a live show they did. It's got Prophecy, Deliverance, Child of Fire, Take Hold of the Flame, and most of the song, and The Warning, and most of the other songs from the EP. So yeah, a little something extra is pretty cool. A lot of their early work, one of their earlier shows under that new name of Queensrÿche. Awesome name for a band too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is still probably my favorite thing they've ever done. It's awesome. One of my favorite EPs for sure, and just a testament to what a great band they were. Jeff Tate and Chris DeGarmo made an excellent songwriting team.
Sure.
It was unbeatable in the 80s and early 90s.
Absolutely. Queensrÿche is a personal top 5 band of mine. I just always love to revisit them. When we get to a specific album and song, I'll start talking about where I found them. But yeah, this is a great EP. I would try to do the opening. I don't want to embarrass myself. Don't have but I love the music video to Queen of the Reich. It's so sci-fi looking. And
it's pretty cool.
It's so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great though.
Yeah, they always had cool music videos too, like the one for Jet City Woman and Eyes of a Stranger, and But do you have? Yeah, their first album, The Warning, I don't have on CD. I used to have it on cassette tape back in the day, and I think what happened was I mentioned this in my promo video, but I think my car, it had a cassette player, and I think I accidentally left that cassette in there, like in the console when I sold the car. So I was like, damn,
that sucks.
I wish I'd still held on to it. Yeah, I had quite a few cool tapes back then. I guess I forgot they were in there or something, but that was one of the ones I never did get on CD. I'm probably gonna get the vinyl now. It's on my watch list on eBay. When I get paid again, I'm probably gonna order that. But yeah, it's a great album, great debut album. It's one of the best. Some of my favorite Queensrÿche songs are on there.
The Warning is another song where it really hits the high. At the end.
Yeah, he just tears it up. Oh my gosh, it just just blows me away every time.
I I love songs like Warning, Enforce, Take Hold of the Flame before.
Yes, Take Hold of the Flame, Child of Fire.
Now, Take Hold of the Flame, live, Tokyo, 1984. That was the first time I saw them live, of course, on YouTube. I wasn't. But I watched that live performance, and the highs that Jeff Tate did, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, we are children of the... And he was
Yeah, that's actually what this the Live in Tokyo. That's what the bonus tracks are on this release of the Queensrÿche EP. Yeah, Live in Tokyo, 1984. Yeah, there's the Warning. I don't have it.
You know what song I liked that was different was the NM156. It kind of reminded me of some of the stuff they did on like Rage for Order with the technology and the.
Yeah, it was kind of a foreshadowing, like a prelude to what was to come.
Almost like Screaming in Digital or something.
Yeah, I really love the opening of the instrumentals just building. Yeah, Christy Garma is a great guitarist. So is Michael Wilton. And Scott Rockenfield is a great drummer too. I really wish that he was still in the band.
Yeah,
but No Sanctuary is a really good song too.
Yeah,
and what is it? Deliverance.
The Road to Madness. Another classic.
Yeah. I need to re-obtain that album. I miss it. But, I was listening to it on Spotify, but it's cooler to actually own a physical release.
Mm-hmm.
Spin it on my turntable.
I think I like the Road to Madness slightly better live when they do it because I don't know. I like the chorus better when he says the chorus a little better live than when he hits the real high note and it doesn't quite fit.
Yeah. Yeah, they were a great live band. And still are, even though it's pretty much a different lineup aside from two. Yeah, Eddie Jackson's a pretty underrated bass player too. He put on a great performance as well.
Yeah. I still feel like they were trying to find their sound though, and this like the
Warning
sound that would be Queensrÿche essentially.
Yeah, it was a little.
I would say
it was a little prototypical in a way, but still really good. Off to a darn good start.
Sure.
But of course, then we had Rage for Order. Yeah, I love this album.
It's great.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, I like it. I like it even probably a little better than the Warning at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like this is where I think they became Queensrÿche.
Yeah, this is where they really started the.
Like the earliest has elements of Iron Maiden and stuff, but
yeah,
this is 100% Queensrÿche.
Yeah, exactly. They really came into their own a little more with this one. And they branched out a little bit, kind of had their own style, their own sound, which is very unique, I thought,
Yeah.
And it is very 80s. And they were doing a lot of the stuff other bands were doing, but it was like they did it way better than a lot of the bands that were kind of doing this, They were just
they
great.
Did have the big hair, though, in the...
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff Tate had that, like that mullet thing with it was like spiked up at the top and then combed down like the gel and stuff and the hairspray.
What's your friend is talking about Bruce Lee? Like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon is legendary. Yes. Yeah. I don't know why you're talking about that.
But when it comes to this album, like Walk in the Shadows, I Will.
Yes. Great opening track.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
Surgical Strike and all that. It's a great album, man. I Will Remember. I think it was MTV Unplugged that they did the acoustic of that. That's great. That's a really good song that you get to hear Jeff Tate's power, but in a softer tone. And even Chris DeGarmo, when he does his little voice section too, and they match their voices, it's really good.
Yeah, I like his backing vocals. I like his when they did the harmonizing, like as a duet. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's
so
a
many
really
good
awesome
songs on those, like the
little love
killing
scene.
words. You're killing me with words. You're
Then that cover.
killing
Yeah.
me.
I love that cover of that cover of Del Bello's "Gonna Get Close to You."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. Like cool video too. Like looks make him out to
Yeah.
be like a creepy stalker.
Right. And they had a lot of stuff like that, like a prowler lurking about, like in the the streets and stuff. There's danger, and stuff. Yeah, the whisper and the killing words. Those are good songs.
London, that's another great song.
Yeah.
They
They didn't play too many songs from this album when I saw them, but yeah, a lot of great ones.
Yeah, Screaming in Digital, love that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Excellent album.
Great follow-up.
I will remember it has that like kind of long like breakdown.
Oh yeah,
Is that
his
really?
voice is insane on that too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
So cool. Love it. Yeah. Fantastic album.
When I saw him live, they did the whole album. I
Oh
was
really?
like, yeah, this is awesome.
Did you see him with Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff T.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh,
they
you're
did
lucky.
The whole
Yeah.
Reach
Wow,
for
cool.
Horror album.
Man, yeah, I always wanted to, just and it's never happened. Then of course he left. I was like, damn, I was kicking myself for not trying harder.
Did all Empire and all Reach
Wow, that's phenomenal. Did they do Queen of the Reich?
No, I don't think he did that one.
That's probably my favorite song they've ever done. But still, I bet that was an amazing show. Was Chris DeGarmo with them
No.
at that point? Oh, yeah. Still, would have been great to have seen him with Tate.
Yeah.
Would have loved to. I wish I had when I had the chance, but what can you?
I
I'd
never
like to
got
see
to either, sadly.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jeff Tate's solo band live. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you said, they play mostly Queensrÿche songs, so it'd be,
Yeah.
Be the next best thing. Because I've seen
Mhm.
Queensrÿche and then see Jeff Tate. It's kind of like put them
Bless.
together and there you go. I don't guess Chris DeGarmo is really doing anything. Is he? Didn't he become a?
I don't know what happened. Like,
Yeah, I think he quit metal to become an airline pilot or something.
really?
Like Bruce Dickinson, although he does both. He's a musician and a pilot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think Chris DeGarmo's really done anything since Queensrÿche. Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Should be
That's
on
a
the
shame,
Wearly
too.
now and
Yeah.
VH1.
So much talent. My gosh, I would hate to let that go to waste.
Yeah. Now,
That's right, Mike.
when it comes to this next one, there's only one thing to say for me. Masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Great concept album, great everything. All killer, no filler. We got Operation.
No filler whatsoever.
Yeah, Operation Mindcrime is quite possibly my favorite Queensrÿche album. It's kind of hard to choose between like their first 4 or 5, but I think I'll probably go with this one at least for now. He's got so many great songs. It's a kind of a longer album too than some of the other ones. 15 tracks. Yeah, Chris has got the big hit "Eyes of a Stranger," which was one of their most famous, most well known singles. And probably the song I've heard the most, like on the radio and stuff. Either that or "Jet City Woman" from Fire. But great songs. Anarchy Acts, the title track, of course, "Spreading the Disease."
I love
like
every
Dance Outside.
freaking song.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, they're all amazing. Yeah,
Like I could like sing like all the lyrics. Like
yeah,
Yep. It's
killer. All killer, no filler.
Yep. This is a top 5 album of all time for me. It was the album that got me into the band. And
me too.
the song that I heard. This was in the early days of YouTube. I came across Eyes of a Stranger and, clicked on it and was just like, whoa, wow. And then it led me into the rabbit hole of wanting to hear everything. But yeah, Eyes of a Stranger, good beat, great vocals, but the whole album is so catchy and good, and I like the story of it. And
yeah, it's sick, man. It's just absolutely killer. Some of my favorite Jeff Tate vocal lines, some of my favorite the high notes. He just belts it out like it's nobody's business. And some of my favorite DeGarmo riffs and solos too.
It's a cool story too. Like I like.
Yeah, the concept. Yeah.
I love like the little, the in between things like killer. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Kill Mary.
It's a little political, in some of the.
Yeah.
Perhaps you need another shot at the beginning.
I love how things will, like a song will end with something and then the next song starts with it, like a seamless thing. Like one song could end with Jeff Tate screaming, but then the next start with him screaming in the same way, and then it continue. I like it. But yeah, songs like, of course, Revolution Calling, Operation Mindcrime, I Don't Believe in Love, The Mission, Speak to me, speak to me.
And he uses a great. I think this is his best vocal performance because he utilizes a lot of his deep vocals and he shows so much range in this album.
Yeah, he does some of the lower registers, like almost like bordering on like kind of a baritone or maybe a tenor rather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the mission is very deep, like in the woods. And then by the end, he's like high as hell again.
Yeah, such a range, like just so incredibly versatile.
Yep. As as Sean said, you could sing every song on here. You know it so well. I don't believe in love. I never have. I never will. I don't know why I keep. It's a good album.
Breaking the silence of the night. Can't you hear me screaming?
Great stuff.
I Was Stranger is probably one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah, me too. It's probably their biggest hit. It's probably like their biggest hit or one of them, but I think it's still great. I'm not sick of it yet. Yeah, I still love it. Every time I hear it, I get pumped.
I mean, two different albums, but out of these two, what do you think is really their most popular song? Eyes of a Stranger or Silent Lucidity?
Well, I mean, Silent Lucidity is the biggest hit, I would say.
Well, yeah.
That was on the radio. That was everywhere,
I feel like Eyes of a Stranger seemed to be played a lot more. They didn't even play Silent Lucidity when I saw them live. But yeah, they're both played quite a bit. But it's like I've heard Eyes of a Stranger more personally.
Yeah, and this was the album that really started to put them on the map. Mindcrime, but it wasn't until Empire where they would. Really, Empire.
Can you hear it coming? Empire. Feel it crawling.
Awesome stuff.
Jet City Woman, Silent Lucidity, so many, the title track, so many of my favorite songs.
Yeah, Jeff City Woman just gets me so hyped whenever you hear that guitar at the beginning.
Me too. Yeah. Oh man, so killer.
Best I Can. That's one of the ones I listen to a lot. Another Rainy Night. Jet City Woman. My God.
Even some of the lesser knowns are really good. Like Hand on Hearts.
Yeah. You've got a cardboard house. They're there all the time.
Yes, this album, this album won them awards, but Silent Lucidity of blew up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they were just like at their in their absolute prime.
Yep.
Yeah, that was their peak.
Yeah, that was their peak for sure.
I mean, they blew up and they were just like packing the stadiums and at the live shows and playing big festivals,
Yeah, Empire is great. And their lyrics were getting a lot more like deep and kind of dark and like more thought provoking and they always had great lyrics, but they were getting really
Yep,
it's great. It's awesome.
That's the great thing about the first is that I have no desire to skip any song listening to those.
Yep. Me neither.
I want to hear every one of them.
For sure.
It's a damn shame the late 90s crept in, but
I know, right?
Great videos too, like cool videos, like anybody listening. And is there anybody listening?
Yeah, I don't own the next one, Promised Land. I haven't heard it in a while, but I love that instrumental track that opens at 9:28 a.m. It's a really cool one of my favorite instrumentals, and of course it goes into I Am I, and it's a pretty cool album. Chris DeGarmo did great. Jeff Tate did great. I just haven't listened to it nearly as much as I have their first four. Yeah.
This for me was the last one that I liked, like,
me too. Yeah, I think this is the last time they were good. Honestly, as much as I hate to say it.
And it was definitely not as good as Empire or Mindcrime, but
it's kind of a step
on there. I like Damaged a lot.
Yeah,
it's heavy, man.
It is kind of a step down, though.
In control, dominating strangleholds. That's a good song.
I had a few songs like World, Someone Else, Disconnected, One More Time, Bridge, Damage. It's okay. It's for me, like you said, it's nowhere near as good as the first few. But
I felt like some people were bothered by Bridge that thought it was too cheesy or whatever. Like, I like it.
Yeah, I do too, honestly.
Said son, let's forget the past.
It was like maybe a little more like poppy and kind of more commercial.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
it was a little more mainstream, like radio friendly, but
even though I saw an Chris DeGarmo and he said, well, our last few albums they were a bit lighthearted and we wanted to go really dark with this one, and I'm just like, it's okay. It's not at that bad point yet. But,
right. Yeah, true that.
But in with the next one. All grunge and everyone wanted to be grunge and
see you later, Mike.
Have a good one.
See you, Mike.
Yeah, you're right, horror fan. Yeah, in the 90s, like every metal band had to turn grunge or alternative rock or groove metal, or especially all the thrash metal bands. Yeah.
I think didn't Chris DeGarmo actually sing one of the songs?
I believe so. Yeah.
And that was like the only time that ever happened. Like,
I think it was the 11th song. All I Need or All I Want. I think it was called All I Want. Yeah, I think that was the one he sang on. I'm not very familiar with this one, but I wasn't a huge fan of Here in the Now Frontier.
They lost me.
Yeah, that was the last one with Chris DeGarmo. I think I can't say I really blame him that he left, but
he came back on Tribe though. The Tribe.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, this was really at the point where as I was marathoning these for the very first time years ago, when I got to this one, I started to feel myself check out. And
Yeah.
and
me too.
I heard 2 albums from the band, and that was Frequency Unknown and The Verdict. Like, I haven't heard Operation Mindcrime 2 or...
I did. I rushed and bought that one as soon as like I got psyched. I was like, "Oh man!" And then it was like they were on the charts with it. I think they were like number 10 on the charts or something.
Mhm.
I was like, "Ooh, maybe it's actually good." Yeah. And I went and bought it. And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I was pumped too. I was like, "Oh, a sequel to Operation Mindcrime." Then I listened. I was like, ah. Then I heard it. I was like, "Never mind."
You know, it was... they were trying to create magic again, but that first Operation Minecraft was that lightning in a bottle. And you just couldn't...
Couldn't recapture that.
Can't recapture that.
Yeah. American Soldier, I think, was, from what I've heard of their, like, you know, post, like the after the first 6, from what I've heard of them, I think that's the worst, probably. Oh my gosh, some of those lyrics.
I remember seeing the video, and I was like, "Oh man."
Oh my gosh, I was like, I can't believe this is the same band. I was like, man, they could do so much better than this. I was like, what happened? Why?
Fall from grace.
Yeah, big time. Oh my gosh, like.
Yep, and
just that's right up there with Saint Anger.
That's why they were just playing like clubs at that point.
Yeah. Oh my god. We really. Yeah. It just didn't seem like the same band. It was, some of those lyrics were like almost Limp Bizkit worthy. It just like, and just some of the aesthetic and skills. Yeah. It was like, man, what are you guys doing? This is.
Yeah.
So really, I think that the Todd Latour, from what very little I've heard of the Todd Latour albums, I think it is a little better than their later ones with Jeff Tate. But they'll never top what they did in the 80s and early 90s with their first like 5.
Yeah, it's a damn shame to watch a band with so much talent and, you know, just so good just disintegrate over time and
just rapidly decline. Yeah, it's depressing to watch.
Yeah, but yeah, Todd Latour, I feel like he gets a lot of that unnecessary hate. Like, I get if you're just like, he's not Jeff. I kind of just like Jeff better. It's my preference. But the people that straight up like, oh, fuck that guy. I hate that band now. He sucks. When he's just
I think those people didn't want to give it a chance just because he's not Jeff. And like, I get it. Like, it's never gonna be the same band without Jeff, even though his vocals did really decline towards the end. It's just like when, you know, somebody else was singing for Priest and Maiden, you know, in the 90s. It's like they're just so iconic and so well known.
At least they're going back to trying to be heavy again, you know.
Yeah,
like they really
I think it's an improvement. Yeah, they're trying to get back to their original sound.
The high notes and the.
Yeah, and when I saw them live, they didn't play any of their new songs. They didn't play any of the stuff from the Todd Latour fronted albums. They played all the Jeff Tate stuff, and they just really tore it up. Like I said, it does feel like a tribute band, and it won't be the same as the original stuff with Jeff. I think this is the closest thing to hearing, you know, Queensrÿche the way they sounded like, you know, back then. And yeah, some people, like you said, some people just don't give Todd a chance just because he's the new guy and just because he's not Jeff, and they just want to hate him. I don't think they really listen. But I just have to admit, yeah, again, he's not Jeff Tate and never will be. But he just sounds really, really good, and he just nails it. And there's really nothing wrong with him other than he's just not Jeff Tate, you know.
And they've got to tour with Judas Priest there, huh?
Yeah, that was they opened for Priest when I saw him, and gosh, that was a killer show. Yeah, Todd Latour and Rob Halford just tore it up with their vocals. Those high notes, they could both still hit those highs. It was just oh my gosh, I was just in heaven.
Nice
all night.
But you know, I do recommend their 2019 album, The Verdict. I thought it was actually pretty good. I didn't skip any. It was heavy, melodic. I liked it.
Yeah.
And they've already released 2 singles from their newest album coming out. And I was like, not bad. So,
yeah, I was watching an interview with Todd Latour. He was talking about replacing Tate and why Scott Rockenfield left and stuff. They were playing a lot of like the new Queensrÿche songs in the background. Mm-hmm. They sounded really good. I don't know the names of any of them or anything, but yeah, it sounded a lot better than, you know, American Soldier and Mindcrime 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
It's sad though. I mean, but
It is.
as bitter and nasty as the breakup was, that hurt me too. I'm like, oh
That was
man,
a
that
doozy.
sucks. You know, they're really
Yeah. Yeah, and then Jeff Tate had a new band called Queensrÿche, and
yeah.
oh man, gosh, that was just
With
like
the
this
album
went down.
cover with the
Yeah, my gosh, yeah, the Frequency Unknown, the FU is like, man, that just went down so terribly. My gosh.
Oh.
Ugh.
they like literally fought on stage. Remember?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, my gosh. And yeah, Jeff Tate was like saying, nasty things to the audience. It was just a really ugly,
It was rough.
really ugly scene. Yeah,
And the
but
one
I still have
over
mad
the
respect.
name and the
Yeah, but I still respect Jeff Tate and always will. I still think he's awesome. He's one of my idols, one of my favorite singers, and always will be.
me
I
too.
don't care if he can't sing like he used to. A lot
He
of
still
singers
sings good, I think. But
yeah, no, he still
he may
sounds
not
good.
be able to hit the high notes.
Right?
As much.
No, he still sounds
He's
good.
still-
It's just
He's got that great stage presence still, though.
absolutely.
Yep. And
I still love Jeff. He's awesome.
one big positive I'll say about newer Queensrÿche with all the newer members is that, well, it's not the original members. It still captures a little Queensrÿche feel to it.
Yeah.
It's not like Sepultura where there's literally no original members in that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll take current
That's
Queensrÿche
joke.
over current Sepultura and like Cryptopsy any day. There's not the same bands as far as I'm concerned. But Queensrÿche, despite having two original members, still feels like the same band. They still sound just as good as they did back then.
Yep.
Though it took me a long time to get into it too. At first, I was kind of one of the ones who's just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna give this new guy a chance. He's not Jeff," and but seeing him live just changed my mind. It totally won me over.
Cool.
I definitely recommend it.
I might see them next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I guarantee you'll have a great time. They put on a really good show, and like I said, they didn't play any of their new stuff. I think it was David Spade that said, "When a band says we're about to here's a track from our new album, they might as well be saying, okay, it's time for you guys to go take a bathroom break." At least I don't think they play their new stuff. I'm pretty sure they didn't because all the songs they played
It's
I recognize.
funny. I think they at least play one or two.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, I'm gonna be seeing Iron Maiden in October. They're playing a lot of their new stuff, and I haven't even really listened to their new album all that much. So
That's a similar case for me.
Yeah,
that's like listening to the newer Queensrÿche with Jeff Tate.
right. Just play
I
the
don't
classics.
like anything since Fear of the Dark. Basically, that's
yeah, I'm with you on that. They've done a few good things since then, but
it doesn't matter because they made those classic albums. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I wish they were playing more of the classics. I looked at the set list. Maybe they'll add a few surprises. Yeah, I always loved Queensrÿche.
Yep.
Especially the Jeff Tate fronted.
hell yeah! Those first few albums are just phenomenal. So
Oh yeah, just
I'll
absolutely.
never, I'll always love that stuff.
Yeah, me too. It never gets old.
Nope.
Yep. I'm glad we got to talk about this band.
Yeah, me too.
One of
What,
my all-time favorites.
Absolutely. What band do you guys want to do next time?
Limp Bizkit. I mean, listen,
Yes, hands down.
oh,
I don't
It's
know.
all great though. So maybe Michael Bolton.
yes. There you go.
I would love to do like maybe a Dio video. And we talk about like all of the albums that he fronted, like all his three albums with Rainbow, and then his technically four with Sabbath,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then some of his solo stuff. Not all the stuff from the Dio band because there's too much of it, but maybe just like the first few. Yeah, I would love to do Dio. I would love to do Judas Priest or Merciful Fate, King
Yeah.
Diamond.
We probably should do Judas Priest, huh?
Yeah. Maybe just like we did with Iron Maiden and Sabbath and Queensrÿche, just do like a segment. Maybe just do their 70s and 80s stuff. Maybe do like all the way up to Painkiller or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do Priest, and then
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and eventually I'd like to do maybe Exodus.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, Testament. Yeah, it was,
Sounds good.
we'll never run out of bands to talk about. That's the good thing about metal, you know. So many great bands.
True.
Yeah, a lot of good ideas. Is there any other bands you guys can think of that you'd like to discuss? At some point, at least.
My brain keeps going to a lot of like, not really obscure bands, just ones that are not talked about, like Sodom or something.
Oh yeah,
but you know,
I've got like 5 albums by Sodom, and like I'm not really too familiar with like a lot of their other stuff. Like I don't know if I could really do album by album with them. I like them a lot. Yeah, Tom Angel Ripper is a great bassist and vocalist and thrash, and he's pretty much the only constant member. He's gone through so many different lineups. I liked when they had Chris Witch Hunter on drums. It was his idea to have the lyrics be more about like war and like the military and stuff like that, and kind of be a little more political.
You know, there is one band that I want to do, but we can do it at any time. We don't have to do all of the albums. But we've done Ozzy, Sabbath, but I've kind of wanted to talk about the Ozzy solo years, like, you know, Barbara, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's talk about Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, Bark at the Moon,
Shot in the Dark.
Yeah. Yeah, The Ultimate Sin. That album is really hard to find. It's like out of print, and I think Ozzy kind of disowns it, which is weird because it's some great songs on there.
I love that album. That
Me
album,
too.
Ultimate Sin, close to my heart.
Yeah.
It was just,
I think No Rest for the Wicked is a very underrated Ozzy album.
That's the first with Zach Wilde, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That was a good one. First one I heard.
Randy Rhoads was on 2, then Jake E. Lee was on 2, and then Zach Wilde was on that one. Pretty much just about all of them after that. There's a few that he wasn't on.
Yeah. Jake E. Lee was so underrated because when people think of artist, it's Randy Rhoads or Zach Wilde.
Zach Wilde, yeah.
Mark the Moon, man, that was a good album.
Yeah. Jake E. Lee was just caught in the middle of 2 like titans on the guitar. True. Yeah, I think he's very overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
I like his style. Randy Rhoads is the best, of course, hands down. But Jake and Zach are great too. But yeah, I'd love to do the Ozzy solo stuff. I'd love to do the other Sabbath stuff. We talked about the first 8 Ozzy albums. I'd love to do the Dio Sabbath and maybe some of the other stuff. Ian Gillan, Glenn Hughes, Tony Martin, who's the most underrated metal vocalist ever. My gosh, he had such an amazing voice.
I was thinking like when we were doing the top 10 guitarists or whatever, I'm like thinking, can you imagine if what great stuff we would have got from Randy Rhoads if he didn't die?
Oh, I know.
You know.
Well, apparently,
just
according
those
to Ozzy,
2 albums and is like some of the greatest stuff ever. You know?
Yeah, he's like in my top 10. That's just based on 2 albums, which is crazy. He was in Quiet Riot before that, but yeah, he was just, oh my gosh, he was just so killer. But according to Ozzy, he was actually going to like give up doing the touring thing, and he was gonna go like study classical music and like teach lessons and stuff. I think he wanted to kind of give up being a rock star. That's what Ozzy said in his autobiography.
Yeah.
So that might have been his last album anyway.
I have heard that, yeah.
Yeah. But either way, I'm sure, it would have been great for him to have been still around to this day. Really, really tragic what happened.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Randy.
Rest in peace. I just find Ozzy so interesting. Like, I feel like he's a part of my family because I grew up with him.
Me too.
Like, it's like, how is that dude still alive?
It's quite
That's a miracle. Yeah, all the drugs and oh my gosh, it's a miracle he's still kicking.
Yeah, like the old interviews you would see, like him high, like, "Hello, Ozzy." He'd be like, "What?"
What? Yeah.
Out of
Said hello, Ozzy. Hello there.
yeah, that laugh killed me.
Yeah.
But
And when he says in that same interview, he had the really short hair. And when he says, I'm paraphrasing here, says something like, "Oh yeah, that's same old. Junk." Almost said shit. It's like, good thing you didn't say it. He cracks me up. Oh my gosh, he's just hilarious.
Reading his book was like one of the funniest things I ever read. Like
I've read it 3
his first
times.
book,
And,
I was like dying.
oh yeah,
So,
so
like,
many
wow, this guy
hilarious
is so
stories.
funny. Like
He was almost like a real life Homer Simpson. Like some of the things he did was just like, oh my gosh.
just like the crazy stories and
Yeah, so entertaining. I feel like I really got to know him through reading that book. It just feels like you're hanging out with Ozzy, which is cool. Like having a conversation with him.
I got the Ozzy autobiography. Now I just want to get the Tony Iommi one to go with it.
Yeah, Iron Man. I highly recommend that. Yeah, I've read that one twice.
I need to get that.
Yeah, it's cool to see the Sabbath story from a different perspective because, in the Ozzy one, like after he left, like it's pretty much, mostly a solo career. With Iommi, you get to see, you get to hear about, all the other singers and all the other lineups that Sabbath had because he's the man when it comes to Sabbath. He's the only constant member.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really interested to get a different perspective. Yeah, I loved Terry Lewis' book. He has some really funny stories about Glenn Hughes, like in his, always wanted to do cocaine and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Some of the lineup changes and dealing with some of these producers.
I gotta check that out.
Absolutely. I
love reading those rock star autobiographies.
Me too. Yeah, I've read so many. Yeah, I wish Kerry King would write one.
I know he needs to be someone from Slayer should write.
Yeah, either him or Tom Araya.
Yeah, be great.
Yeah, or Dave Lombardo for that matter. But he wasn't there the whole time though. So I'd rather be Kerry or Tom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love for King Diamond to do one. Somebody from Metallica, I guess James or Lars, obviously.
Yeah.
Or maybe Kirk. I'd read Kirk's if he wrote one. Mm-hmm. Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden wrote one. I've read Bruce Dickinson's, and I wish Steve Harris would do one. But Adrian Smith wrote an autobiography, and I was about to read it. I was like, oh, awesome. But then I read all kinds of reviews where there's hardly anything about the music and about guitar playing. It was all about going fishing. And instead of talking about the formation of, instead of talking about joining Iron Maiden and their second album Killers and playing guitar, it's which fishing rod is the best. So that's a hard pass for me. What are we about Maiden? Come on.
Wasn't that kind of similar to Bruce Dickinson's autobiography where it wasn't about Maiden, it was like being a pilot and beer and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about being a pilot and how planes work and beer brewing and fencing and writing. It's like, man, where's the Maiden stuff? I feel like all the music
Iron Maiden, damn it. All I want to hear about is Iron Maiden.
I know. That's why I read the book, and it's more of like just a general memoir. Most of the Maiden stuff is glossed over. It's like, yeah, I was a pilot, like 3 chapters about airplane, and oh, by the way, I was in Iron Maiden. I feel like I didn't get to know Bruce Dickinson very much through his book, unfortunately. It's very well written because he's an author, and it's very admirable that he can do all these things, but. Yeah,
I loved Dave Mustaine's book. It was great.
Mustaine, yeah. That's a great read,
really
too.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've read that one 2 or 3 times, too. He puts down so many of his former bandmates and stuff. Like, he talks bad about, like, everybody.
That's what's so great about because he doesn't give a shit. Like,
he's so honest.
Say anything he wants.
Yeah. It's like, man, does he paint all them in a bad light? It's like, wow, like everybody.
And when he talks about bass guitar, he's like, it's one step above the kazoo. Like, wow, dude.
Dang, that's
talking about your friend that you played with for 40 years.
Yeah. That's rough.
That's what you think about bass. He doesn't think it's worth the shit.
But he praised Cliff Burton a lot, which was cool.
Yeah.
He was one of the only musicians he talked good about. Yeah, he really let the Metallica, his ex-bandmates in Metallica have it, But he painted Chris Poland and Garth Samuelson in a really bad light. Like, oh my gosh, talking about. I mean, they did do a lot of bad things, just selling their equipment for drugs and stuff. But good lord, he was just brutal. It's relentless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he paints himself in such a good light. He makes it sound like he's just such a badass who hardly makes any mistakes. It's so funny. The guy's just got such an ego. Yeah.
Even though he was a train wreck.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. He said he's been to rehab like 17 times, and David Ellefson even went for him one time, and he ended up getting clean and sober like by accident or something. Yeah, it's a trip. Right, guys. Well, it's a great stream. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, I was probably a little out of it. It's been a very long week.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, it's really fun talking about Queensrÿche and some great movies.
Yep.
We touched on quite a bit in this fairly short time compared to some of our epics.
Yeah, we got a lot done. Yeah, made a lot of progress.
It was a blast. I loved it.
Me too.
Excellent stream, guys. Can't wait for the next one.
Same here. Yeah, we can tackle Priest. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here in the Morbid Hour. Until next time.
Next time, guys.
Later.
Have a good one.
Peace out.